Greetings and welcome to this documentary. Today we will be taking a look at some of the best drama practitioners, their work and their techniques. So join me and a few very special guests as we stride down the road to look at drama both past and present. Theatres and actors have both developed so much in the past few years. The Avenue Theatre is a great example of that. Wow. These are both heavily influenced by the past practitioners and their techniques. So let's have a look at those chick magnets. The German theatre practitioner, Brecht.
Aha!
Polish-born American actor, Strasberg.
You called?
No, what are you doing? Not yet! And the French practitioner, Arsenal. And last, but certainly not least, Stanislavski. So here today we have managed to get a special interview with Bertolt Brecht himself. Hello.
Hello!
I'd just like to thank you for letting us have this interview.
Ah, pleasure!
So, Brecht, may I call you Bertolt?
Nein!
Okay, well, what is it that you created in theatre that was so influential?
Well, you see, I wanted to create a distance effect between the actors and the audience. I like to call this the alienation effect.
So you wanted the audience to have no emotional involvement with the performance or the actors?
Precisely.
So, how many plays did you write?
31!
31? Wow, that's a higher number than I thought. I thought it would be a bit lower, like...
9!
Yes, exactly.
No, 9, no, higher number!
Ah, yes, well, that's very impressive. I got bored of Brecht quite quickly, but I did learn a valuable technique crucial to actors, the alienation effect, one of his most useful and known techniques. Brecht wanted to ensure that the audience knew that they were watching a performance using techniques like breaking the fourth wall and musical theatre. He wanted to really make sure that the audience knew that what they were watching wasn't real. Born 4th of September 1896, this guy was a professional French writer, poet, director, actor and visual artist. He changed theatre as we know it and created many techniques, which we will discuss in just a second. We are once again extremely lucky to have with us here today Antonio Marie Joseph Paul Arted. Thank you once again, Antonio Marie Joseph Paul Arted, for coming today.
Yes, it's my pleasure.
So, talk us through a few of your techniques.
Well, I made people run around.
And?
I made people run around and sweat.
And what did you call this technique?
Well, I called it theatre of cruelty. Cheers.
Okay, and why?
Well, they would naturally perform better when tired and under stress. So, my theory was, if I make them extremely tired and under extreme amounts of pressure and stress, it would make them all be brilliant.
Ah, interesting. And did it work?
Well, I was trying to target the audience comfort zones and shock them with their senses.
And how would you do this?
Well, I could use lighting and sound. We'd get into the audience's personal space, anything to make them feel uncomfortable.
And did all of your students and audiences need therapy afterwards?
Oh, an unbelievable amount. But it worked. I look horror films today. For example, they still use my technique. So, I have a great impact on the theatre throughout the ages.
Well, thank you for this interview.
Oh God, you would have shake my hand, man!
I quickly realised that Antonio Marie Joseph Paul Arted was a maniac, so I left as soon as I could.
Cut.
Strasbourg, born November 17th, 1901. He was more than influential. He was an actor, he was a director, he was an acting teacher. He also co-founded the group theatre alongside great directors. Unfortunately, we can't have Strasbourg here with us in the flesh, but we have him over Zoom. Hello, Lee Strasbourg. How are you doing?
I can't see you.
Turn your camera on.
Ah, I see.
Well, you don't because the camera's not on.
Ah, now I see.
Yes, I can see you now. So, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Lee Strasberg. I am the creator
Yes,
of...
and what?
Hey, man, I'm talking here.
Okay, sorry. Proceed.
I am the creator of the emotion memory technique. It consists of the actor going back and almost meditating to remember a time in their life where they were feeling the emotion that they were trying to create in the scene. For example, if we were trying to perform a sad, emotional scene, I'll teach my students to recollect in a time when they felt sad and use that to fuel the scene.
Well, that's very impressive. I have to say, I've been in a few performances myself, and I have used this technique in the past, and I can say as a living experience that this technique does work.
Exactly.
Is this not very similar to Stanislavski's technique?
No, this is my technique. Granted, it does have some similarities.
Some similarities? Lord, your techniques have more similarities than Siamese twins.
Besides that, I have developed the acting technique, what is known as method acting. Many actors have used this technique, such as Heath Ledger, Marlon Brando, and Jim Carrey. This proves it does work and is very effective.
Is this not so that some actors can go to the extreme with the method acting and fully become the character to create a believable performance?
The substitution technique completely embodies the character before you perform, so you can give a realistic performance.
And do you like a realistic performance?
I do.
Well, thank you very much for giving us your time and talking us through the screen today, and telling us a little bit about your techniques. It really is a pleasure.
You're welcome. How do I leave?
As you see, Strasbourg's techniques are still very much so used today by screen actors and stage actors all around the world. Which brings us to our final practitioner. I have worn formal attire for this as this is one of my personal favourites. His techniques are still widely regarded as some of the greats. So let's quickly go and meet our final practitioner, Stanislavski. Stanislavski. Stanislavski, born 5th of January 1863, is known as the father of method acting. Many actors use it today. We'll get more about it, but the main man himself. Stanislavski, it's a real pleasure.
I'm over here!
Stanislavski, it's a real pleasure. Stanislavski, can I just say how much of an honour it is to be with you today?
It's my pleasure.
So, would you mind just talking us through some of your 7 acting techniques?
Well, you see, the 7 acting techniques consist of how you find your character and fill in the gaps. These 7 consist of who am I? What time is it? Where am I? What do I want? Why do I want it? How will I get what I want? And what must I overcome to get what I want? These are set in place to make sure you think about your character and really connect with your character.
And how does this tie in with method acting?
Well, method acting is the whole action of discovering who your character is and then becoming that character to perform a realistic performance.
So, a mixture of all the techniques to reach the same goal?
Yes.
And would you mind talking us through the magic if technique?
Well, it means an actor putting themselves into their character's shoes and really feeling the character and what they are feeling to perform their character at their best.
Wow, well, this really has been an honour to sit here and talk with you, Mr. Stanislavski.
The pleasure is all mine.
Well, there we have it. We have spoken to some of the all-time great practitioners, and we have learnt a lot of techniques, from method acting to breaking the fourth wall. This has taught me, as a young aspiring actor, a lot of techniques that I will consider when performing my roles. Method acting is growing faster and faster, and better than this plant. So next time you need to perform a role, consider these practitioners and their techniques. Thank you for watching, and I hope you've all learnt a lot. Thanks again, and goodbye.
Have you seen my glasses? I cannot see without my glasses. What happened?